The talk topic today is revealing and healing. And I wanted to start with an image. This is representative of what kintsukuroi is. And for those of you who haven't heard of this, it's a Japanese concept where if a piece of pottery, such as a bowl, breaks, it's often repaired, lining it with copper or gold into the cracks where it was damaged. And so there's this belief that something that has suffered damage or has been broken becomes more beautiful. And I love that. And what if we believe that about us? And while you're looking at this image, there's also this quote I love by Khalil Gibran. And I actually am going to paraphrase it because it makes more sense to my mind when I paraphrase it in this way. Pain is the knife that carves more deeply the bowl that contains your deepest happiness. I'll say that again. Pain is the knife that carves more deeply the bowl that contains your deepest happiness. And finally, consider this. Teal Swan said, trauma gives rise to your excellence. Trauma gives rise to your excellence. And she says, without trauma, there's no such thing as a great actor or a great actress. Without trauma, there's nobody that achieves something great. Without trauma, there's no one that climbs mountains, metaphorically. And so trauma gives rise to your excellence. And I thought that was, all those things are just very, very thought-provoking to me. So I'm asking that you kind of entertain this viewpoint today. So when we work with our hurts, our baggage, or our broken past, transformation can be catalyzed through those things. Transformation can happen. Now, a disclaimer is that not everything is meant to be surfaced or resurfaced from our past, but I accept that there are always things that we have beneath the surface that are ready to be revealed and healed for our total benefit and for the benefit of everyone. And sometimes it doesn't just mean getting rid of things or resolving things. Sometimes it means simply accepting those things and providing a little bit more forgiveness where possible. Mark Mesidorian, you may have heard him say, whatever needs forgiving, just entertain forgiving 1%, forgiving 5%. This is a way that we can heal things too, if it's of that ilk. Eckhart Tolle says that anything you accept fully will take you into peace. Anything you accept fully will take you into peace. This is the miracle of surrender. So perhaps it's something that's waiting, some aspect of your being that you have not accepted, or something that happened that you have not accepted that could be a candidate for this, taking you into peace. But no matter what, we as spiritual-minded people, we want to evolve. I believe we have signed up as a part of being a spiritual person for a journey that's not always the easy route, but it is the worthwhile route, revealing to healing. And it may be unresolved grief. It may be habits, thoughts, beliefs, emotions, situations, or ways of being that don't serve anyone anymore. Habits, thoughts, beliefs, emotions, situations, ways of being that don't serve anyone anymore. Maybe they served you last year. Maybe they served you 10 years ago, but they don't. There's certain ones that don't serve you anymore. And a dear spiritual teacher friend of mine who's no longer with us, she always said, David, things are always in a state of healing. It's always going on. It's always things are coming up and out to be revealed and healed. And I think that's true of the world too. If you think about what's going on with our body politic, if you think about what's going on with our economic situation, if you think of what's going on with the environment, you can look at it through the lens of, well, it's coming up right now because we have the capability of healing it. We have the capability in this time and place that we chose to incarnate to heal these things. So I've been doing a lot of inner work lately, and insights and opportunities have flooded in. And I think it's because during my meditation moments, I've been asking for that to happen. I've been asking to move to a higher state, to heal. And sometimes this healing or revealing happens in my dreams. Like last week, I had a dream about my mom where we were just hanging out. We were having an adventure together, and I woke up. And it's always such a gift when I wake up from the dream, because you know how often you don't remember your dreams. I woke up, and I think that was a God thing. So I could realize, oh, that I was having a dream about my mom, and this was happening, and it made me cry, but it was a good cry. You know what I mean? A good cry. And there's a movie by Holly Hunter, Broadcast News, where she hangs up the phone like every few days. She disconnects the phone. This is the days of dial phones, and she sits there, and she just lets emotions that are with her just overtake her. And she often ended up crying in this movie called Broadcast News. And then when she's done crying, she plugs the phone back in. She goes off to work. She's ready to go. So you don't know how it's going to happen. Something else happened several times this week as a result of me asking for revealing and healing. And I woke up at the time of Brahma Muhurta. You may have heard this before, but I'll explain what this is. Brahma Muhurta is a Hindu belief in that there is a particularly auspicious time for meditation and insight, a very powerful time. And that time is 1 hour and 36 minutes exactly before the sunrise. And that time initiates then, and then it lasts a little bit longer. If you want to look it up, it's Brahma, like the god, the Hindu god. Muhurta, I think it's Muhurta, Muhurta. But this time, I've heard other people talk about waking up at 5 in the morning and journaling. People have their different times where all of a sudden these insights start to come in. And what happened with me was I was journaling, and I got to see, I'm going to share my screen again. I know I'm going to kind of mess up our video today, but I think it'll be worth it. What happened after the journaling was this. I saw that, the sunrise. And what a beautiful symbolism. And there's a second shot. What a beautiful symbolic awakening I had to the sunrise after that moment of Brahma Muhurta, and my journaling and my insights that came to me that I felt were healing and revealing. It was so beautiful to me. And why was this stuff surfacing besides me asking for it? I think there's a particular reason. It is this. It's because I wasn't ready to look at these things before. I wasn't ready for these insights. There were insights about the way I was being as a person that I didn't particularly like to look at, but I was willing to look at it a little bit longer and go, oh, I want to change that about me. And I think if it would have come up last year, I wouldn't have recognized it. So it was definitely a God thing to see through new eyes, not the lens of an inner child, but the eyes of my wise sage self. The not the eyes of who I was last year or even last month, but the eyes of who I am right now, the spiritual person that I am today. And so that is a beautiful thing when you witness pieces of your own transformation taking place. So I signed up for transformation when I dedicated myself clearly to a spiritual life, and it's not always fun initially, but when I say it's worth it, it's because this is where lasting joy comes from. And that's where the real fun begins. That's where the real fun begins. Because I believe until we deal with a certain amount of the things that are giving us angst, that joy is not as magnified, and the happiness is fleeting until we find the next distraction. And so I think how do we begin this process? I think that awareness is the first step. Awareness of maybe the thought, or awareness, oh, something is coming up to be revealed and healed. And we have to make ourselves available to that. So sometimes, hey, meditation is the perfect time because your monkey mind is going. And sometimes your monkey mind is doing things that are not just a waste of time. They're bringing things up that are valuable insights for you. Have you ever done that? You've been in a space where you're away from your distractions, you're meditating, and all of a sudden, oh, I've got to grab my journal. That was so good. That happens so often when I'm meditating. So what is your time? You know, it used to be when I was on an airplane, because airplanes didn't have wireless. You didn't have distractions. What is your Brahma Muhurta? It could be a trip that you take. Recently, Jen and I took a trip to Monterey, and it was like these just being in the ocean, looking at the ocean. It was a spiritual field trip for the mind, getting myself out of the location where all my usual thoughts happen. And so that's another way you can create your own Brahma Muhurta, your perfect time for insight. So an important aspect of this work is, first of all, I will say, get rid of dopamine distractions. And they are waiting for you in the land of the phone, right? So many distractions are waiting for you in the land of the phone and the computer. And once we get past those, I would say, don't turn away from insights that might feel like sadness and you don't know what they are. Don't turn away. There's a term called spiritual bypass. And that means I'm jumping straight to affirmations. I'm jumping straight to everything is good. I am powerful. All is well. But you're not wanting to even know what this little feeling is. There was a comedian I watched recently. I can't remember his name. But he said, the moment we feel a little sadness, I'm paraphrasing, or a sinking mood, we immediately grab for the nearest distraction, whether it's the phone, the computer, the TV, our favorite thing to eat, some ice cream from Ben and Jerry's. But if we wait for just a few minutes and be with whatever it is, he said, these sadness antibodies come rushing in. That was his way of saying there's some healing that's going to go on. And even though it was a comedian, it was a very serious moment in his routine, and it spoke such truth to me. Let these sadness antibodies come in, and there's that song, let the love wash over us. Let the sadness wash over you for a little bit. Let whatever it is just be there for a moment. You don't have to dwell in it. And some people call it, you got to feel the feels. You got to feel the feels, feel the feelings, instead of what we usually want to do is we want to fight, flight, freeze, or make ourselves comfortably numb instead of feeling the feels. And that is such a crucial part of emotional intelligence. And all this is easier if we perhaps think of ourselves when this is coming up, thinking of ourselves as the witness, observer self. You remember when that movie, What the Bleep, was all the rage? All the rage. Went out and saw it 6 times. so much of that movie was talking about being in the witness, the observer self. And that observer self, I believe, is the divine self, the wise self, the sage self, the Christ consciousness self, the true magnificent self, instead of the child self, right? Instead of the wounded self. And you're here to nurture that relationship between you and you, and perhaps approaching the whole thing with curiosity. Like, oh, I always think that thought when, or I always react that way when, and the moment that happens is you are becoming aware of something. And when you become aware of something, it's becoming revealed. And when it becomes revealed, you can't unsee it. You can't unsee it, and it has a chance to be healed. So another helpful thing is that your challenges may give you wisdom that is a gift to share. I bring as an example my own journey with addiction 27 years ago. Through that journey and through facing the questions of why did I do that? Through going to meetings, I built skills and was able to help so many other people. I became a walking gift for people who, and still to this day, just this week, someone had a relative that was in need of advice related to this topic, and I became a gifter. So challenges can help you. So in closing, I'm going to say just a couple of things. There's a saying by Anais Nin, and it is, a time came when the risk to remain tight in the bud was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. I'll repeat that again. The time came when the risk to remain tight in the bud, protected, was more painful than the risk it took to blossom. Right? I'm afraid to blossom because what if I can't deal with this and that, and so that I thought that was really, really valuable. The other thing that I think is valuable is the song that Margot is about to sing, and it's called "You Say" by Lauren Daigle. And when I first read the lyrics, I thought it was, well, I think it was probably written by someone talking to God, a God that is outside of the self. But the more I read it, I interpreted it this way. It's someone having a conversation with her higher sage self, the God within. So I'm just going to read a little bit of this lyric, and Margot's going to sing it beautifully. I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. I am more than just the sum of every high and every low. Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. You say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I'm weak. You say I am held when I'm falling short. And when I don't belong, you say I'm yours. And I believe what you say of me. I believe the only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. And in you, I find my worth. In you, I find my identity. Wow. Wow. That just gave me chills. And yeah, I heard a couple of people that Janine says she has that on her refrigerator. So enjoy Margot singing this as she completes the other half of my message. Here you go, Margot.
I keep fighting voices in my mind that say I'm not enough. Every single lie that tells me I will never measure up. Am I more than just the sum of every high and every low? Remind me once again just who I am, because I need to know. You say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. And you say I am held when I am falling short, when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours. And I believe what you say to me. The only thing that matters now is everything you think of me. In you I find my worth, in you I find my identity. You say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short, when I don't belong. You say I am yours, and I believe, oh, I believe what you say to me. I believe. Taking all I have and now I'm laying it at your feet. You have every failure, God. You have every victory. As you say I am loved when I can't feel a thing. You say I am strong when I think I am weak. You say I am held when I am falling short, when I don't belong. Oh, you say I am yours, and I believe, oh, I believe what you say to me. I believe, oh, I believe, I believe, oh,